Hello, I'm Dr. Liz Cruz, gastroenterologist based out of Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I wanted to take you through a very exciting part of my day, which is a breakfast that I make myself almost every day. Almost every day. And it's a quinoa porridge. And I started actually eating this probably close to a year ago in November. Started eating it, was just trying to clean up my diet. I just, started going for care with one of the local holistic providers here in the area. And he made some suggestions about my diet. And one of them was for breakfast to have a quinoa porridge. Now, probably you've heard about quinoa. Quinoa is a grain and it's so tiny. There are these little circles, they look like little dots. And it's a grain. And this grain is amazing. It's got protein, it's got amino acids, it's got fiber. It's just such a great grain to have. And you can make it in a lot of different ways. A lot of times when we have soup at home, we'll make quinoa and we'll literally just put it in the rice cooker and let it cook, like let it steam. Put some quinoa, put some water to cover it, and you let it steam, and then you get this really nice, fluffy, puffy grain that's soft, and then you can mix it up with put it in your soup so that you have that as some extra protein. Sometimes I'll take quinoa and I'll mix it up with some garbanzos and I'll put olive oil and some sea salt and pepper. That just makes such a really awesome meal. But what I'm going to show you now is the quinoa porridge that I make. All right, so what you want to do with the quinoa in this situation for the porridge is you actually want to blend it to get it to a powder consistency. So I'm just going to show you, I'm going to walk you through and show you what I do. All right, put some quinoa in the blender. All right, and I'm using a Vitamix. Okay, you can use any type of blender that you have at home. And what you have is a beautiful, well-blended powder. All right, and I'm going to show it to you. I usually will do it every week. I'll do a nice amount of it, and then I'll store it in this container and keep it in the fridge. All right, so it looks like any type of cereal. I mean, if you grew up on malto meal, what else? Cream of wheat. I mean, basically, that's kind of what you're looking for, that kind of consistency, because you're basically going to make like a cereal. And so there's the quinoa. I'm going to put this aside. All right. And so typically what I will do then is I get some water boiling. I get all my stuff, and what I'm going to use to put into the cereal, I'm going to use some cardamom. Cardamom is a really nice spice that has a lot of antioxidants in it. In fact, it's really good. It's good as for anti-inflammatory. They say even helps control blood sugar, helps control blood pressure. It's just got a lot of great antioxidants in it. So I use this to spice it up, give it a little spice. It's just a really nice flavor. I use a little bit of cinnamon also, just again to spice it up. And cinnamon, you may or may not have heard, that is actually really good also for helping to keep blood sugars under control. And it's just a really nice flavor. I always add blueberries. You get some great antioxidants in your blueberry. So we got some fresh blueberry there. And if you want to add a little sweetener, you can use some honey or some organic maple syrup. All right. I always use honey. I just like it, but I have used the maple syrup before, and it also gives it a nice little flavor. And it's just to give it a little sweetness, just a little sweetness. And then the other thing that I always add to I always use a nut, and I use macadamia nuts. It's just the nut that I chose. It just gives it extra protein. All right. Now you've got this amazing grain that you've blended up. You're going to add these beautiful spices and a little bit of honey or maple syrup, some blueberries, and add some nuts to it. This is such a powerful breakfast. I mean, but you can eat it anytime. I've made it before, even for a snack at nighttime, but I use it mainly for breakfast, and I make it and I actually take it with me to the hospital when I go to work. All right, now we've got water that's boiling. So I'm immediately going to lower the temperature. And I also use a little whisk. I mean, you can use like a spoon. I like using this little whisk. And I basically, it's not like there was a recipe I was following. Okay. I just basically have figured this out through time of making it over the past almost year. And I add in typically one of these. And this one is, oh my goodness, I don't even have my readers. I believe that this is a quarter cup. All right, so this is a quarter cup. And then when you put it in, it's going to clump up right away. So you want to start whisking it, whether you're using your spoon or a whisk. I start whisking it so that you don't get a lot of clumps. You want it to be nicely mixed. And basically, I just leave it on here. And as you noticed, I did lower the temperature all the way. I lowered the temp where it's just barely, just on very low level. And it's going to just be cooking here for a little while. And I watch it carefully. I used to watch it more carefully at the beginning because I definitely let it overflow at the beginning when I was still learning the measurements. But now I pretty much have it down, and then I just let it cook. Let it simmer. And what's going to happen is over the next few minutes, it's going to create just a really beautiful looking cereal that looks like cream of wheat or malto if you've ever had hot cereal. I know nowadays a lot of people end up buying like little packages of oatmeal that you just take your mug and put hot water in it and mix it up. I'm still pretty old fashioned and like to do cereal from scratch. And ever since learning about this quinoa, this has been my go-to pretty much almost daily. So it's a great cereal. Like I mentioned to you, a lot of great nourishment. You're going to get protein, you're going to get some healthy carbs, you're going to get fiber with all these added spices, the cardamom, the cinnamon. You're going to get some great antioxidants also with your blueberries and added proteins with your macadamia nuts. It's looking good. You can see it's starting to get a little thicker. I'll let it go just a little bit longer, let it thicken up. So I just want to share with you some of these healthier recipes. I think that cooking for yourself, cooking for your family is actually something that, a lot of people don't cook anymore. I mean, it's just easier to go out and stop on the way to work and pick up something from Starbucks or from McDonald's. It's just easier, right? And we're all in a hurry all the time. Even for lunch, if you don't take the time to make something for yourself and to prep and get your meal ready, you're also going to default to at lunchtime heading out and finding the nearest fast food and getting something that in the end is not going to nourish you the way that it should be nourishing you, right? Getting a little bit thicker. You can actually make it a little thicker by adding a little bit more cereal, or if you wanted it a little more liquidy, you can actually put a little less cereal. I actually think that a quarter of a cup of the powder with a little, I filled this up to about here with water, is a really nice amount and gives you a really nice consistency on the cereal. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off because this is still going to be hot, and I'll let it continue getting that heat so that it can get just a tad bit thicker. All right, so now I'm going to bring my sweetener and my spices over because I usually like to add these in while it's still in the pot. I'm going to add some cinnamon, a little cardamom, and some honey. Perfect. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just mix it all up. Smells amazing. That cinnamon and cardamom. cardamom are just really such an awesome combo of spices in the cereal. It kind of smells like fall. It's got that fall smell to it. So I was talking about, nourishing yourself and nourishing your family. It's so important, like I was saying earlier, to cook for yourself, be intentional. You know what goes into it. There's no artificial flavors, which is actually code for chemicals. It's just your pure raw ingredients that you're putting into this. And you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your family. So I highly encourage you to get into the habit of making these things for yourself. Making this cereal literally takes me maybe 10 minutes. All right, 10, 15 minutes. I mean, part of that is the time for boiling it and then cooking it. But it doesn't take that long to make something really nutritious and delicious. And that's the other thing. People think that if you're eating healthy, it's not going to taste good. It doesn't have, whatever. You can cook amazingly scrumptious and delicious meals very easily. And so now I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. Beautiful cereal. It does look like malto-meal, right? It's beautiful. Now I'm going to add some blueberries. Going to make a really nice snack. And then I add in some macadamia nuts. Just do a handful. Add them in there. And you have just made yourself an amazing meal that I usually eat for breakfast. It's very healthy, very nutritious. You don't have anything in here that is not good for you. Every single ingredient in here, I know what it is because I made it. I put it in myself. They're wonderful ingredients, chock full of antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, natural chemicals. You've got great protein source here, and it's just such a delicious, delicious meal. And I keep saying meal because you can have this anytime. If you want any more information, if you want to connect with us, you can find us on our website, drlizcruz.com. You could schedule a free 30-minute wellness consult. You could do that from anywhere in the world because it's done over the phone. So you just need to go to our website, and on the homepage, there's a magenta color button. You can click that and schedule a free 30-minute wellness consult. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us.